Welcome along to my Speed 4s. I don't know what you call this. Shakedown run. It's the first time I've had old Ginger here back together since I bought it. Let's see. I've gone through output cast seal, chain, sprockets, fuel tank seals. I had to make brackets for the turn signals, front and rear, or the indicators. Then I had to wire it all in because the previous owner had cut the wiring harness all the way back. What else? I put new mirrors on it. Actually, this is the third set of mirrors, and this set is the winner. I got to say, I can see everything behind me perfectly, and they look cool. And the latest round of good stuff was that I did some 3M carbon fiber Dynoc film and made some cafe racer stripes for my bike. I really need to get this out and wind it out somewhere. I bought a fuel carbon slash cut race can for this bike, and it sounds great. I can also attest on the Triumph Speed 4 that when the service manual says 2 to 3 millimeters of free play in the clutch, they really mean that. I had way too much free play in the clutch. Now that I've got the right amount of slack or free play, it's just like a dream. But it's very sensitive to that 2 to 3 millimeters of play. I've heard people complain about the Speed 4 when you put an aftermarket free-flowing exhaust in, like I did. I got a K&N filter in my airbox, that the TT600 and Speed 4s tend to surge at low RPMs. And that's true, I think, with stock gearing. However, oh, that sounds great. My gearing is not stock anymore. The front sprocket stock is a 14 tooth. And the back is a 45 or a 15 and a 45 if your bike got covered under recall. Now I've gone to a 1547, which still gives me about a 3-to-1 ratio. It's a little higher than that, but it moves my RPMs to a place where around town Ginger tends to be at a higher RPM around town. And she likes that. And also running at a slightly higher RPM at slow speeds, like wind it out more in each gear, tends to clear up the idle surge. At least it feels like it. Oh man, it goes into neutral so much easier now the clutch is adjusted. And that tank bag is nice, man. It is stuck. It ain't going nowhere. I gotta hand it to the boys at Fuel. They make a really nice exhaust. It's quiet at low RPM. Open the throttle up, and it growls. This is the first test of my microphone. With my boot wheel helmet. We'll see how well this turns out. I don't really do moto vlogs all that often. I've done a couple on the Super Magna. Quite honestly, I just don't have shit that's that important to talk about, really. By the time I get my mirrors adjusted right, I'll be done riding. Well, my friends on the Idiot Collective on the forum, he said, "Oh boy, another triumph of in the forum, just what we wanted." Here in the U.S., these things are not common, and let alone an freaking orange Speed 4. It's incredibly uncommon, actually. Which is good. I kind of like it that way. Not seeing yourself motoring down the road all the time. Oh yeah, the clutch is fine. It's just that adjustment, man. I probably had about 20 millimeters of free play instead of the 2 to 3 that the manual says. And I thought I checked it. The last brief time I went out and rode, it was notchy as could be. It just did not feel good. That's all it was. I'm getting oddball looks from people for 2 reasons. Oh, big yard sale. First reason, well, 3 reasons. One, I'm on the Speed 4, and it stands out like a sore thumb because it's freaking bright-ass orange. It's the same orange that our state vehicles are here for the state of Michigan, MDOT, Michigan Department of Transportation. This bike is literally MDOT orange. Second reason I'm getting oddball looks is because I got my built wheel helmet is really cool, but I kind of look like a cosmonaut from the freaking 60s. And then I got my camera on. Another reason why people are giving me the eye. Well, if this ride goes well and I don't detect any other outstanding issues with Ginger here, I might ride it to work a couple of times. If that goes well, then I'm gonna take it and get the valves adjusted at the dealership. So I won't have Ginger for a while. I'm sure they'd have it for at least a week. Plus, with my work schedule, I wouldn't be able to pick it up until the weekend anyhow. This one's white, man. With the new chain and sprockets. Yeah. Let's talk about fucking bike maintenance for a little bit. The guy I bought this bike from claimed that all the maintenance had been caught up and that he was a Harley mechanic. And he was selling bikes because when I went to go pick it up, they had like about 3 or 4 more bikes, which I feel sorry for anyone who bought those. So, Mr. I'm a Harley mechanic claimed that everything had been done. The bike was good to go. He was so full of shit, it wasn't even funny. I mean, the most basic maintenance thing that you could possibly do is change your frickin' oil. And it came out black. It hadn't been changed in a while. And I could tell it hadn't been changed in a long while. Because normally when you change your oil at a regular interval and you pull it out of the bike, it doesn't stink like gear lube. This shit, on the other hand, smelled nasty. And it was dark. Now I have since changed the oil twice on this bike since buying it back at the end of March into April. It's now June. Not because I needed to mileage-wise, but because I wanted to see if it would get clean. And it did. After the second oil change, the oil has now remained nice and clean. So that was lack of maintenance. The chain was wasted. The sprockets were worn and out of adjustment. Just filthy dirty. The output shaft was leaking. So just neglect. And I'm sure it was written very hard. I did have a wee bit of throttle surge last time I rode the bike before I discovered the fuel tank leak, and I think that was due to the fact that they didn't have a K&N installed yet, and the original filter was plugged because that hadn't been changed in forever either. I was a little worried about my choice of chain and sprockets. I mainly picked the 1547 combo to get more clearance over the swing arm rub strip which I also replaced because it was completely worn through, and I replaced it just in time because the chain was about ready to start eating into the swing arm. Now, while I would have liked to have been riding Ginger a couple weeks ago, actually, it was a turn of good fortune because it was fish fly season, and oh my god, it's apocalyptic when the fish flies are in season. There are billions of them, and I would have been coated in fish fly guts. Let's go around this guy here. There's Eddie's Drive-In, man. That place has the absolute best freaking hot dogs on planet Earth. Hands down. Watch the gravel, dude. There we go. I could probably take this faster, but I'm not looking to go balls out today or anything. I don't know enough about my bike or the tires. Tires being the key thing. I looked over these Continentals pretty closely for any kind of damage or nails or whatnot. I always like to run slime, my own preference. Some people may not want to do that. It saved my ass on more than one occasion, so. So I'd asked on the Idiot Collective forum about new chain and sprockets, and my DID BX Series Gold chain came with a recommendation to leave the smeary white mayonnaise looking goop that came on it on there for a certain period of miles. Didn't quite specify any very broken English instructions. I believe that chain's made in Japan. There was no information in there about why. Come to find out, long story short, is that crap is white lithium grease. Oh, here's Eddie's again. Man, that place is awesome. Oh, they are open. They just don't have the neon sign on. Anyhow, at least with DID, that white grease that's on there is a packing grease. It's just straight up white lithium grease, and white lithium grease is not a high temperature grease. As it heats up, it will liquefy and fling everywhere. So what I should have done is I should have cleaned all that crap off the new chain, and then hosed it down with the Bel-Ray Super Clean chain glue that I normally use, because that stuff is great. I don't really have a problem with it getting everywhere. With the white waxy crap, the white lithium grease, the DID, it needs to come off. It just makes a mess. Fucking potholes, man. I'm gonna lay off the speed and the noise, because there's St. Clair Shores Police Department. Last thing I need to do is get picked up right in front of there. They'd be like, son, are you stupid? Why would you speed in front of the police station? Because I'm an idiot, officer. That's why. Alright, so impromptu review of the fuel exhaust pipe that I bought. It was made to order. It got here incredibly fast. From the UK to St. Clair Shores, Michigan, I had that exhaust pipe within 4 business days, and I didn't even rush to deliver it. It hit the bike, the pipe hit the bike perfectly. It sounds phenomenal with the DB killer in. It is way too friggin' loud with it out. I will definitely get pulled over. It's gotta be at least twice as loud as the stock exhaust with the DB killer installed, and that's just enough. Because if someone's not paying attention, I can whip the throttle and they'll wake the hell up. With it off, it's obnoxious. And I love it, but we have a noise ordinance here, and I know I'd get picked up for it. Absolutely, for 100% certainty, I would get picked up for the exhaust. Their claim, at least with the DB killer in, that you do not need a remap. I would support that. I mean, I'm sure there are other people who ride the Triumph Speed 4 that would probably say otherwise, but for my configuration with my chain and sprockets, moving the RPM band just slightly, I can say without a doubt that it doesn't need a remap. It is well behaved around town, and if you don't get into the throttle too hard, it's fairly quiet. Now, the important things, other than the fact that the carbon race can looks cool as hell, I'm sure the stainless can, and it's got kind of a titanium finish. They all look really nice, as well as black. It was about 2/3 the length of the original pipe and half the weight, maybe less than half of the weight. It's a significant change in weight. That right there alone, I mean, it's a good buy. I paid just over $300 US for it, delivered. So yeah, I can give them a thumbs up. Oh, God, the potholes. They're tearing the ass up. Oh, what's going on here? This is Edsel Ford's home over here. As in Henry Ford's son. And he must be having some kind of car show here. Alright, didn't even know this was going on. Well, I'll go run into the parking lot if I was allowed to, but looks like I gotta pay to get in there. Well, normally you gotta pay for admission. And I don't have any cash on me right now, or I'd go in there and take it with me and we can see what's going on at the car show. But I hadn't really planned on doing that stuff. What I really planned on doing is making sure my Triumph wasn't gonna fall apart. This is Jefferson and one of the growth points here. But I like it because you go right along Lake St. Clair, which is what our little town's named after. Yeah, cool car. 356 Porsche. Nice. Man, I've seen all kinds of nice cars out today. I did buy black chaps, and I bought brown and black Alpine Star, I don't know if you'd call them boots or shoes. I can tell you they're comfortable as hell, man. It's the first set of proper motorcycling shoes I've had, and they're made by Alpine Stars. And the Gore-Tex mesh, so I guess they have a waterproof Gore-Tex kind of sock on the inside, and they have mesh panels that let the air flow through, and man, they're like sneaker comfortable. But they've got CE armor, they've got a reinforced shank in there, so when you stand on your pegs, they don't flex in the wrong way, but they will flex to allow you to walk, and they're damn comfortable. I'm rambling. I never know what to talk about when I'm doing this stuff. You know, I ride along Jefferson here, and these people have multi-million-dollar homes, and yet they can't get their tax money together to keep these roads from having massive potholes. And so I'm always dodging this. I think we'll come back down Lakeshore because this is a really nice ride. Alrighty. I'm in one of the gross points now. I don't know which one. But yeah, I was just lamenting the fact that you got people loaded with, I mean, just absolutely to the teeth with money. In probably one of the most affluent areas of the state. I mean, this is old money, like Henry Ford and executive kind of money from the turn of the century, because all these houses were built around, I don't know, the 1900s or so. Maybe some a little older than that. I mean, they're like mansions, really. And yet, ugh, the roads are just shit. Guy had the crosswalk signal. I'll let him go. Just glad the idiot behind me was paying attention and didn't rear end my bike. On the long list of shit that sucks, a car hitting you in the ass would suck. Faffing with mirrors. These things need a set screw so they'll stay put. There's Grosse Pointe High School. It's been around forever. So, a lot of my friends who will probably watch this on YouTube, you ever seen a John Cusack movie that's maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 years old called Grosse Pointe Blank? This is the area where that movie is supposed to be taking place in. I guess the guy comes back from a high school reunion and he's like a hitman for the mob. Anywho, yeah, so this is Grosse Pointe. This is where all that's supposed to happen. But now, where exactly that movie was filmed, like the locations, I don't know. I know it was filmed here. I'm sure there's some place on the internet. It was an okay movie. Oh, man. You gotta watch when you're trying to relax and you hit a pothole and you got your hand on the throttle. It makes the bike pulsate and surge. Ugh. Like that. Yeah, I'm convinced the bike does not idle surge. What is happening is the throttle's very sensitive. And I could probably adjust the cable to take some of that out of there, but I like it the way it is. Every time I hit a really bad bump, my hand rocks back and forth from the impact, and that causes kind of like an oscillation to start between my hand and the throttle. That right there. I just hit a bump, and I was holding on to the throttle too hard, like, that bump. That time I loosened my grip up on the handlebar on my right hand, my throttle hand, so that when I hit the bump, I didn't surge the bike. Yeah, I think for me it's a perception of idle surge, but it's not really. Oh look, they're doing construction down here. It's not super hot today, but it's extremely humid because of the thunderstorms coming in. Probably in another 2 hours. I'm keeping my eye on the sky here, because I don't trust my tires in the wet. Because quite honestly, I've never had these Continentals on any bike. So I don't know what to expect wet weather-wise. Wonder how much oil is, or not oil, I wonder how much of the old lithium grease is still in my chain working its way out and making a mess. Well, apparently the fan comes on at 220 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, you got the whole road. Why do you have to come all the fucking way over, douchebag? God. I think that's the first time I've heard the radiator fan come on. Oh, pothole. Back on Jefferson. Some guys on some recumbent bicycles here. That looks like it would be fun to do, but you look like an incredible tool doing it. Go down Jefferson again here. Oh, guy out on his bike. No helmet. No, speed bump. Oh! Those aren't potholes. Those are like speed bumps, man. Fix this shit. This season, probably October-ish. I'm gonna shove down the calipers, free up the little bobbin. I don't know what you call them, but the isolation. I guess we'll call them bobbins. That isolate the spider part of the rotor from the actual braking surface. Just spray that out and brake to make sure that they're free to move. And put new brake pads on it. Good old Mustang. Nice car, dude. Nice car. Right back at the end. See, that's on our Ford house. Well, we got classic cars coming in. They must have some kind of car show going on there because there's a vehicle check-in. Yeah, I wish I had money for tickets. I'd take you guys in there, but... Well, I'm getting back onto the border of St. Clair Shores here. So I'm going to sign off on this video. I'm going to ride for a little while longer, make sure the edges are sorted out, but I just don't feel like faffing around with the camera. So, until I put out my next video, everybody ride safe, man.